Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror mystery film, Into the Labyrinth. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a young teenage girl looking at her reflection in a van's glass window. She then sees peculiar glowing red eyes from the inside and starts backing away in fear. However, it's too late. The van's door opens and someone snatches her from the street and into the van. The vehicle then speeds away. In the next scene, an adult woman wakes up in a hospital room. In front of her is a doctor, who reveals that she was kidnapped when she was on the way to school one day. The police then rescued her, and the doctor is now tasked with sifting through her memories so as to identify who kidnapped her. But the survivor is still reeling from the trauma of being kidnapped, so she just keeps repeating that this is all a game and she is still in captivity. She then looks around the room and comments that there were no mirrors allowed in the labyrinth where she was kept. The doctor answers that this was because the kidnapper did not want her to know how much time was passing. He then shows her a missing poster of the young girl shown at the beginning of the film and reveals that it has been 15 years since she was taken and the survivor is now an adult woman. In the city, a middle-aged debt collector named Bruno learns about the survivor resurfacing after being missing for 15 years. He visits his paramour in her apartment, who recently serviced a person involved in the investigation. She had learned that the police were tipped off by an anonymous phone call, which led them to finally find the survivor. Additionally, a doctor is now also working on getting inside the survivor's mind in order to figure out who exactly the kidnapper is. It's also revealed that Bruno is terminally ill and only has a short time to live, but he has decided that he will spend the rest of his days trying to track down the kidnapper. Back again in the hospital room, the doctor asks the survivor about her first memory in the labyrinth. She says that she woke up in a dark maze with a cube in front of her. She was so hungry, so she played with the cube. It led her to a door where there was some food in a paper bag inside. It became clear to her that whenever she played the cube and won, she would get rewarded with necessities. From this, she realized that if she finished all the mazes, the kidnapper would let her leave. On the other side, Bruno goes to the police so he can learn more about the case. He shows them the contract he had struck with the survivor's parents 15 years ago so he could find their daughter and bring her back. The parents are now both dead, but Bruno is resolved to fulfill his contract and bring the kidnapper to justice. He demands to hear the anonymous phone call, and the investigators allow him. After checking the recording, he notices that the caller has a very distinct throaty voice. Bruno tracks the caller down in a bar and questions him about finding the survivor. The man admits that he did find the girl in the woods and that there was someone else there too. This mysterious figure was wearing a rabbit suit and had glowing red heart-shaped eyes. The caller man explains that he had a previous jail record, so he had to run away after informing the police. Afterward, Bruno heads to the Missing Persons Bureau and asks about cases that involve missing minors and rabbits. The officer who works there mentions that there were only 2 of them working in the bureau, but his colleague has been away on a case for a long time. The officer searches through the archives and finds a 1983 case of a young boy named Teddy who was abducted for 62 hours. After he was found, he started burying several rabbits alive. Knowing that Bruno pretends to be a social worker, and he visits Teddy's former foster mother. She tells him that Teddy was very disturbed ever since he was rescued. It was almost like he was a different person. The foster mother goes down to the basement with Bruno and retrieves the suitcase that Teddy had with him when Teddy arrived. She then shows Bruno the comic book, featuring a bunny that Teddy had in his possession as well. Suddenly, the foster mother hits Bruno in the head, and he is rendered unconscious. When he wakes up, he is now alone in the basement. He can hear the foster mother upstairs, talking to Teddy, who is now an adult man wearing a bunny suit. Apparently, this is the same man who was responsible for the kidnapping of the girl. The foster mother asks the bunny man about what he did to the girl, but the bunny man responds by killing his poor mother. The bunny man then heads downstairs to the basement, attempting to kill Bruno. But Bruno hides in the corner and surprises the bunny man by tripping him down. He then runs his dying ass upstairs and out the door to escape. Back in the hospital room, the survivor suddenly remembers that there was another female captive in the labyrinth with her. She found the captive inside one of the rooms, and the captive suddenly brandished a knife, declaring that the kidnapper had told her that if she killed the survivor, he would free her. Fearing for her life, the survivor locked the captive in the room and did not let her out. Even when the captive would beg her for food and water, she did not open the door. Eventually, the captive died, and the survivor won the game. Back to Bruno. He goes to the investigators with the new information he has. He learns that Teddy is now living with a new identity, and it would be difficult to find him now. The investigators refuse to believe his theory, and they send him on his way. Bruno later approaches a renowned comic book collector and shows him the Bunny comic book. The collector is shocked because until then, the Bunny comic book was just the stuff of legends. It was a unique artwork because on the surface, it looks like a wholesome comic. However, if you place it in front of a mirror, it shows blasphemous imagery. When Bruno gets home that night, he receives a video recording from the Bunny Man showing that Bruno's paramour is tied up and gagged. He immediately heads to her apartment, only to discover her dead body. In the bathroom, he finds an injured dentist who claims that the Bunny Man had forced him to kill her or else he would harm his wife and kids. The dentist also claims that the Bunny Man was his gardener. Back to the hospital room, the doctor asks the survivor if she ever had a happy memory during her captivity. She shares that she once found the kitten in her bed one day, and she thought that it was a gift from the kidnapper. The doctor then questions her if the cat really was real, or if her mind just made it up, which angers her. He then tells her to unbutton her hospital gown. She obeys and sees that on her stomach is a C-section scar from a previous pregnancy. Then, the false memory makes the survivor realize she had a baby at one point, but she can no longer remember now. The doctor replies that this was because the kidnapper had kept her drugged up so he could make her lose her original memories and control her mind. On the other side, the investigators now take Bruno's theory more seriously. They find the dentist's wife and children drugged in their beds. The wife corroborates the dentist's story and provides a description of their gardener. Bruno goes to the Missing Persons Bureau and talks to the officer there regarding the developments in the case. The officer does some more digging and discovers that days before Teddy disappeared, he was seen in a nearby church. That was the subject of some sinister rumors. Before Bruno leaves, the officer tells him to be careful because his colleague, who's working on the same case, has been missing for days now, and he is worried that the monster she's hunting has also caught her. Later, Bruno goes to the church and finds out that an old sexton named Bunny used to work there. His quarters were in the basement of the church, but he is now sick and was sent to the hospice to languish. Bruno also finds a picture of two boys, one of them in glasses, and the other has the same disfigured birthmark as the gardener's, just as described by the dentist's wife. With that information, Bruno assumes that the boy with the birthmark is Teddy, the current Bunny Man. In the hospice, Bruno confronts the sexton. He reveals that when he was a child, he was kidnapped as well by a man in a bunny costume. He was so traumatized that he felt the compulsion to kidnap kids as well. When he became an adult, he was the original bunny kidnapper who kidnapped Teddy. And now, Teddy is carrying on the same tradition, and he kidnapped the said survivor all those years ago. Bruno also mentions to the sexton about the picture he found of the two boys, and asks him who the boy in the glasses is. The sexton answers that that was Teddy's childhood friend. Bruno tracks down the childhood friend's trailer truck. He finds out that the so-called childhood friend is the exact gardener of the dentist's family. It's revealed that the sexton lied, and the boy with the birthmark wasn't the kidnapper Teddy at all. Instead, the boy with the glasses that the sexton kidnapped before is actually the traumatized Teddy. Teddy had grown up and assumed a new identity and became the exact dentist that Bruno had encountered at the time when the dentist claimed that he's forced by the Bunny Man to kill Bruno's paramour. But because Teddy had recognized the gardener as his old childhood friend, he decided to frame the gardener for the bunny kidnapping. In the hospital room, the survivor recounts to the doctor that every week, her kidnapper would leave the pizza for her. She held on to that pizza as her last connection to the outside world and a reminder that she has something to go back to. The doctor then leaves the room. Moments later, the phone rings, and it is from a pizza delivery man. Bruno gets a heart attack and is rushed to the hospital. As he lies dying, he sees a vision of his dead paramour. He reaches into his pocket and grabs the tape recording of all the discoveries he made regarding the case. Then the tape drops to the floor. Meanwhile, the dentist, aka Teddy, the real kidnapper of the survivor girl, also wakes up in the same hospital due to the injuries he received. He pretends to be a doctor and walks to the survivor's room. But when he yanks back the sheet covering her, he discovers that there's only a mannequin there. Moments later, the police appear and arrest him. It turns out Bruno's tape was helpful to the bunny kidnapping case, and the police are able to anticipate that Teddy would come looking for the survivor in order to take her back with him. It's then further revealed that the woman the doctor was talking to is not the same girl that was kidnapped 15 years ago. The real survivor that was the victim of the Bunny Man was being kept by Teddy in a fishing boat in a swamp all these years, and she was grievously injured. The real survivor really was found by a man in the woods, but she is in a coma now, and it's unlikely that she will ever regain consciousness. The doctor that was interviewing the woman is not the real doctor as well. The real doctor is a younger man. In fact, the woman that is interviewed by the fake doctor is a kidnapping victim as well, but of a different kidnapper, not the Bunny Man. Her true identity is that she is the colleague of the officer of the Missing Persons Bureau, who had mentioned his missing colleague to Bruno earlier. Her real name is Mila, and she was working on a case of a missing girl when she was abducted by the man who had pretended he was the doctor. The real victim of Bunny Man was found a year ago already, around the same day when Mila was abducted. The fake doctor reveals that they had already played this same scenario countless times. Every time Mila would correctly guess, he just injects her with drugs and starts the game all over again, intending to wash off her memories and totally control her mind like a puppet. But this time, she regains some memories again and is ready to fight back. She kicks him with her cast-covered leg and renders him unconscious. She then limps around the labyrinth and looks for a map in the doctor's office. She finds it and heads toward the exit. She climbs up a ladder and emerges into the outside world. To her surprise, the labyrinth is located in a remote snowy mountain. Injured, barefoot, and terrified, Mila remembers her true identity, her daughter, and her job waiting for her. This gives her the strength to begin walking through the snow, in hopes that she will be rescued soon. A flashback reveals that the fake doctor and Bruno met once before, in a bar a year ago. A television had been playing the newsreel regarding the bunny victim being missing. The fake doctor tells Bruno that he designs labyrinths. Beside him is the same cube he uses to torture Mila. Bruno walks out the door, determined to find the bunny kidnapper. The movie ends with the fake doctor grinning as he gets the perfect idea and inspiration from the bunny kidnapper news to play his own version of kidnapping scenarios with Mila. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.